Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at using the distributive property, and then we're also going to use it with combining like terms. So remember, with combining like terms, we had to have the exact same variable and exponents in order to combine it, or they had to be constants. So we're going to keep that in the back of our mind as we get started. So we're just going to kind of do a little quick review. So remember, the distributive property can be in one of two ways. So it can be where you have number outside the parentheses, and then you would distribute it by multiplying to your other two, which would then give us A times B plus A times C. And remember that we're going to multiply because our A is right outside those parentheses, and you know anything right next door to parentheses means to multiply. So we're going to multiply A times B and A times C, which would give us AB plus AC. And if you notice, that is the exact same thing that we have over here. So these two are equivalent to each other, meaning they equal each other. They're just two different ways of writing that same problem. Okay, so real quick, we're going to apply the distributive property to write an equivalent expression, so one that is equal to it, all right? So just, again, another way to write this problem. So because our 2 is right outside of our parentheses, we're going to multiply 2 times 9, so that would be 2 times 9. We're going to bring our sign straight down, plus we're going to do 2 times 5. Okay, so that would then give me 18 plus 10. So 18 plus 10 means the exact same thing as 2 parentheses 9 plus 5. Okay, all right, so we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to combine 4 times 5, which would give me 20. And then we would add our 4 times 9, which would give me 36. And those are equivalent to each other. Okay, so remember then we also talked about how to use the distributive property if we have a variable. So we would be multiplying 2 times x plus 2 times 2. We can't necessarily finish this one because we don't have the number. This is not, remember, it's a variable, so it's unknown. So that would just be 2. We know we're multiplying 2x plus, but we can go ahead and we can finish simplifying this. 2 times 2 would be 4. So that would give me 2x plus 4. And that means the exact same thing. I'm going to get the same answer as 2 in parentheses x plus 2. All right. We're going to do our 3 times 2x squared, which would give me 6x squared, minus 3 times 3 is 9. Remember, we're just distributing that outside number inside the parentheses. Okay, so those were pretty similar to what we had previously done. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at numbers 5 and 6. And guys, you can see I have a little note here. We'll go over that in just a second. So you can see that this one's a lot bigger, right? This is a much bigger expression. Okay, so in order to combine like terms, because I already look at it, I go, well, I have an R here, and I have an R here. Okay, so I already can see that I might be able to make this expression a little bit simpler. So I might be able to combine some things, but in order to combine them, you have to distribute first. So in order to combine terms, you must distribute. Okay, so I can see right now I have a 12 right next door to my R plus 4. So let's distribute that, okay? So we have 12 times R, which would give me 12R, plus 12 times 4 would give me 48. I still have more to my expression that I need to bring down. Okay. Now this should look really familiar to when we did our combining like terms. So let's see what we can combine. Let's make this even simpler. All right, so I have minus 3R, and remember always to include the sign in front of your term. And we have a 12R because those are the exact same variables and they have the same exponents. So 12R minus 3R would then leave me with 9R. Okay, and then we have our constants of, let's get a different color there. Our constants of 48 and 6. So 48 and 6 would give me 54. So my final answer would be 9R plus 54. Okay? All right, so for number 6, I need to distribute, okay? So I'm looking here and I see I can't yet combine because I haven't distributed. So first things first, I'm going to distribute. So 8 times x squared would be 8x squared. I see my subtraction sign and bring down. 8 times 9 would be 72. And then I'm going to bring down this other x squared. All right, so let's combine. I have an x squared here, and this is also an x squared. Remember that the variables and the exponents have to match exactly, and these do. So this one is similar to this one. Remember, we want to keep our sign. So 8x take away 1x squared would be 7x squared. And then I would just bring down that minus 72 because there's nothing I can combine him with. So my final answer is 7x squared minus 72. Okay. Moving on to 7 and 8. Moving on to 7 and 8. All right, so for number 7, again, I see that I could combine some stuff, but I can't do it yet because I haven't distributed, so we need to distribute first. So 2 times 4y would give me 8y. 2 times x would be 2x. And I need to bring down everything else. Okay, so I brought everything down just as I saw it. I distributed my 2. All right, now, I see that I have a couple of things common. I see I have an x, so I have 4x. I can't use this 3xy because xy is not the same thing as just x, right? That's 2 different things. So then I'm going to keep this one. So 4x minus 2x would leave me with 2x. I can't combine this xy with my y because, again, it's not the same thing. So I'm just going to bring those straight down. So that'd be 3xy plus 8y. So my final answer is 2x plus 3xy plus 8y. Okay. All right. Wow, number 8. That's a really big one. Okay, so let's just start from the top. I can immediately see that I have something right next door to parentheses that I'm needing to distribute, okay? So let's go ahead and let's just tackle that first. Ignore the rest, let's just tackle that first. So I immediately see something that I recognize, so I would do 20 times c, so that would give me 20c, and then I'm going to distribute my 20 to my 7, so it would be plus 140g, remember always to keep the variable, okay? All right, now I have plus, and now I have something a little different. So now I have this 2 in parentheses, because it's right next door. 2 is right next door to this parentheses. C plus G minus 5. Guess what, guys? You're going to distribute this 2. Doesn't matter that there are 3 numbers. You can still distribute because it's right next door. So I'm going to distribute my 2C, which would give me, bring my plus down, plus 2C. Distribute my 2 to my 3G, so plus 6G. And then I'm going to distribute it to my 5. So I have a subtracting, so I'd subtract. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, now I can combine my like terms. So I see I have some C's here, so let's go ahead and let's start with those. So I'm going to use my C, and I'm going to come over here and do that C. So 20C plus 2C would give me 22C. I see I have a G, so 140G. And we're going to add that with 6G, so that would be plus 146G. And then I'm just going to leave my 10 right there because I can't combine him with anything. So my final answer is 22C plus 146G minus 10. See, guys, not nearly as bad. It just looked really scary. All right, last 2 problems. All right, so for number 9, I can immediately see I need to distribute this. I have 7, and then I have in parentheses 2f plus 4 minus 14f plus 20. So let's just go ahead. Before I can combine anything, I have to distribute. So 7 times 2f would give me 14f. 7 times 4 would be plus 28. And we're going to bring everything else down. All right. Okay, now I can go ahead and I combine. I have 14F, take away 14F. All right, so I have 14F minus 14F. Do I have any F's left? No, so those are just gone. Those canceled. We don't have to deal with them. Now I have plus 28, and I'm going to combine that with plus 20. So that would give me 48. So my final answer is 48. All right, and lastly for number 10. All right, guys, so let's look at this. I have a 10 right outside of my parentheses of a plus 2, and I also have a 3 right outside the parentheses of a plus 3. I cannot combine anything yet. I have to distribute. So I have two different things I need to distribute with. So I'm going to distribute my 10 and my a, so that would give me 10a. And I need to distribute my 10 to my 2, so that would be plus 20. But then I also need to distribute over here. So we're going to bring my addition sign down. 3 times a would give me 3a, and then I'm going to do 3 times 3, which would give me 9. Remember, I brought that sign right down. All right, now I can go ahead and I can combine. So I have a's and a's, which would give me 13 a's. And we're going to combine that with a 20 and a 9, so it would be plus 29. So our final answer would be 13a plus 29.